Let's take a look at what a typical pro bag might look like. Now I want to emphasize typical because you will see some differences in different top player bags, but you'll also see some similarities. I always like to say there's many paths to success, but given that we only have a limited number of slots available, uh, it kind of drives a lot of players to end up bagging some of the very same disc. So the general rule with disc, and it it's called a rule, but it's not really a rule, but what most top players sort of adhere to. Any disc that is 11 speed or under should have an accurate attribute. Uh, if you don't know, that reduces the wobble, so that means that it tends to go where you want it to. So, and in the vast majority of pro bags, you will see that anything 11 speed or under is probably going to have an accurate attribute as one of the attributes. Anything 12 speed and above will often have a glide attribute, and that's because they're distance drivers and you generally want the maximum distance, and so the extra glide gives you that. So that's just sort of a general rule. So when you look at somebody's bag, if they say, hey, can you give me some tips, one of the first things I look at are those two things. So okay, so we have 12 slots, 8 in the main, 4 in the utility, they call it. Uh, Usually see 2 putters and 2 mids. It's because you can't put anything else in those slots. Uh, Usually see 3 to 4 fairway drivers. Usually see 4 to 5 distance drivers. So now, not everybody bags putters. Some of the top pros don't ever putt. They throw in everything. And if those were unrestricted, I probably wouldn't have putters either. I'd probably just throw in everything with the fuse. But since we have the slots, I threw a putter in there. I personally will putt from inside 30 feet, anywhere from about 30 to 60 usually. I'll still use a putter, but I'll throw it in. And all kinds of different discs you'll see there in the putters. If you're using it for putting, it really doesn't make a huge difference, I don't think, on what disc you have. Pures are popular, but Hope, Mercy, Dagger, also very popular options. Now the Harp, that's a different story. That's got a very useful shape. It's very overstable and it's sticky. So I love that disc. If you ever see that accurate sticky Harp, grab it. It's not currently available. The Savior and the Carlson pack, as close as you can get if you're interested. Now mids, these are your throw-in disc. The accurate windbreak fuse remains the preferred choice. I say many, it's most really. Most pros will use the fuse for throw-ins. It's good for up to about 220 feet. Once you get used to it, it's a game changer. And I'll show you how you can get it there. Now the Claymore and the Compass are also becoming more popular, so you'll see those in bags. And what you usually see in the mids is you usually see a windbreak on one, accurate windbreak, and then an accurate glide on the other. On the accurate glide, the Warship has become very popular for good reason. It's an awesome disc, and I'll show you how to get that. The closest to it, if you don't want to pursue the Challenge the Valley or spend some cash, is the Accurate Glide Trust that's in the Albert Tam pack. But I would really recommend checking out that Warship if you haven't already. Now, fairway drivers, um, you'll see a lot of variety here, but again, a lot of commonalities. A lot of explorers, either accurate glide or accurate roll. Uh, you'll also see rivers, same thing, either glide or roll. Occasional pioneer, and when you talk about glide or roll, obviously glide is a little bit further than the roll, uh, but the roll, if you're using it for ace runs, it's going to give you less of a comeback shot, but it also has a nasty habit of standing up and rolling when you don't want it to, sometimes into OB. So, it's sort of uh, a risk you take with the roll attribute on fairway drivers, and some guys love them and others don't. So, uh, you know, pick your poison. So, and then beyond the 7 speeds, you start to get into the muskets, the grace sapphires. Uh, I love the accurate windbreak musket, but the accurate roll is the more popular disc. Um, a lot of guys just like it because it doesn't give them that long comeback if they do an ace run. But I'm pretty comfortable out to about 100 feet, pretty consistent with that. So I don't mind shooting past usually. But anyway, the Grace also recent history has become a very popular option, and the Sapphire has become huge. Accurate glide, accurate roll sapphire. You'll see those in a lot of bags. You can't get the accurate glide sapphire right now. I usually don't see the accurate roll either. But if you can get either one of those discs, grab it. If you see it, grab it. The accurate glide sapphire, in my humble opinion, is the best disc that's been introduced in this game in the 2.5 years that I've been playing it. So I don't see it ever leaving my bag. I use it on a ton of holes. So, all right, and then beyond that, you get to the distance drivers. So you will see recoils in a lot of bags. The Windbreak Glide is the most popular. I'm showing the Glide Skip because that was my bag and I didn't put a Windbreak Glide in. I love the Glide Skip recoil. If you've ever watched any of my videos, you'll know that that disc has been in my bag since day one, never left. And I can't imagine playing without it. I'd be lost without it. I use it on a lot of holes, a lot of scrambling. So, and then you get into your bombers. Starting out with the turn drivers, usually you see either a turn skip or a turn glide if they have a turn disc in the bag, because some consider it optional. Because you can always add turn, obviously by your release angle, to other discs. But in my opinion, what you can't replicate is the straight finish, particularly on forehand. The turn glide, turn skip on forehand, longest, straightest throws in the game. Very useful on a lot of holes, very useful on some courses like Emporia, where you have long, thin, narrow fairways. So, and then of course you get to the big three. The glide roll ride, the light glide, and the glide skip. I'm not going to go into a lot of that. I already did a separate video on that. I'll put it in the description. You can check it out if you want. But the big three drivers, you're going to see in probably 98%, 99 maybe percent of top pro bags. I can't imagine playing without those three. So one of the reasons I don't like some of these gimmicky bags is they don't have those three drivers, and it just throws my game off. So used to them. So anyway, yeah, that's a quick look at what you might see in a typical pro bag. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. And we'll see you around the valley.